Hello, hello, hello. This is Pastor V. I'm back. I saw you guys early this morning. I think I got off. I did a video to show you guys the collard greens that I cooked in the Instant Pot last night with the smoked turkey tails. So today today I did promise I would come back for the dirty rice, so I am like pressed for time, so I have already began to start it, and then I remembered I promised you guys a video. So I have in a pound of cleaned gizzards, that really cleaned, and then I have 1 cup of my seasoning, the Creole seasoning mix. I get it from HEB here in Houston, Texas, and it has in it chopped onion, celery, bell pepper, green onion, and garlic. I use that. Okay, I put in about a 1/4 teaspoon of the Lawry's seasoned salt, and you might say, well, Pastor V, why so little? You're gonna find out. Give me just one moment. I put in about a teaspoon of rubbed sage. You can use any brand you like. It's just what I use. It's just what's in my pantry right now. And I use the Tony Chachere Creole seasoning. I use about maybe a 1/4 teaspoon of that, because I can't do a lot of pepper. And then you can use whatever brand. No one is paying me for doing this. The McCormick celery seed. Now the reason why you didn't see that it had a lot of salt is because, let me tell you. And I also put in my bay leaves. I put in about 2 bay leaves, 2 whole bay leaves. Next, this is what already in the mixture. I have the Better Than Bouillon. What is this one? Better Than Bouillon chicken. You see that? It's the Better Than Bouillon chicken base. I don't know if you can see that in there. Okay, I put in a teaspoon of that, and then I put in a teaspoon of the Better Than Bouillon seasoned vegetable base. Give you a chance to take a picture of it. Okay, and then I put in 4 cups of the chicken broth. You can use any brand you want, or you can make your own chicken broth. Normally I make my own. I just in my cooking, and I cook for a lot of other people for this Thanksgiving, because now we have so many people that are, that normally go out to eat or go to their family, and now they can't because of that whole pandemic that's outside. Okay, so I used up all the chicken broth that I had stored up for myself, and so I had to get this. Sometimes I know people say take care of yourself, but my mother say always give people what you would eat. Don't give them something that you may, that would be your second choice if you have a first choice. And then I have 2 of the Jimmy Dean. You can use any brand you want. The Jimmy Dean sage sausage. You can even use there is a Jimmy Dean. I think Jimmy Dean makes it, but there are other brands that make the smoke that makes the turkey sausage, and it has sage in it. And you can use the turkey instead of the pork. Okay, and I have 2 of these. All right, then I have 2, because guys, you can use whatever brand you want. I just prefer Land O'Lakes butter, but when I don't have Land O'Lakes butter, I use butter, as long as it's butter. Now you might want to use margarine, and some people, even though they're not vegans, they prefer that vegan butter. I use it sometimes myself. And don't worry about the brand. It's just parboiled rice, and I'm going to use 4 dry cups, and then I'll cook that and let that yield over to what I need for all of this. Okay, and now I'm adding in 2 more cups of water, so that's 6 cups altogether of the liquid. All right, and I'll come right back. As soon as I put this on, I probably will just put this on and then just start making the cornbread dressing. So I am going to take the meats and the vegetable and put it in the refrigerator. Okay, guys, so that we won't have any confusion. I don't like to, because I need to make this cornbread dressing. And I mean, I need to make this dirty rice, and I'm making cornbread because I have to. I am also making some seafood cornbread dressing. I've already made the hen cornbread dressing, and it was posted. I posted it on yesterday. Okay, so I'm taking this and putting this in the Instant Pot. Let's see, y'all get to see my whole kitchen. The good part is it's clean. Yes. Okay, so this is my Instant Pot. You see? And I'm turning and making sure that my vent is closed. And I'm cooking it for 50 minutes because I really want the gizzards to be real tender. And when you get the gizzards real tender, and now the Instant Pot, I have it on high on the Instant Pot. I pressed meat, I closed it, put the top on, closed it, sealed the vent, and then I pressed meat, and then I pressed pressure cooker, and it's on high. Okay, so that's what we're doing today, and it's cooking for 50 minutes. It's just on right now, so it's preparing to do what it needs to do. And so now I'm getting ready. I'll keep this video running, and I'll get ready. I'm getting ready and go ahead and make the cornbread dressing. If you guys don't mind, let's run them in together. You can learn. I can show you. I did give you the recipe on yesterday on how to make the cornbread dressing, so now I am going to put it together. Have my bowl. Okay, guys. I'm using the self-rising yellow cornmeal mix. Okay. So in it already has like the baking powder in it. Self-rising, get my, and I have my buttermilk. You can use whatever brand you want. I just like buttermilk, goes really good in cornbread. And like normally I would put like some sugar in it because of the people in my household. However, when it's cornbread dressing, I don't add sugar to my cornbread. I like to keep everything savory. Okay. I am going to, let's see, you guys gonna see me make cornbread dressing. Okay. So, we use, let's get it together. I had one that was already open, so I'm gonna do this one. Fill this one out first. One. So I use 2 cups of the yellow cornmeal. Okay, and then we'll use 1 cup of flour. 1 cup of flour. Yeah, I keep my flour in my container. You can use any. This flour is And then, is that right? Yeah, 1 cup of flour. Yep. And then I'll add 2 eggs, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and 2 tablespoons of butter. But 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil and 2 tablespoons of butter will go in my cast iron skillet, and I'll heat it up in the oven, preheated at let's preheat you. Okay. While I'm I preheat the oven at 425. Okay, I'm gonna get the eggs. I need 2 eggs. Guys, normally I do not like to use, and I had my eggs out, and I am so blessed with a husband that puts things up, and so he thought that I left them out by accident, and so he put the eggs back in the refrigerator. When I'm baking, I like to bake with room temperature eggs. Yeah. Okay. So got 2 of the cornmeal, 1 flour. I don't even, and this is the buttermilk, and it's probably, I like to take, let me show you. For my, see, I like to, after I get the flour and the cornmeal together, I like to whisk it a little bit together, dry. Now, at this point, if it wasn't for cornbread dressing, then I would, the sugar would be in here as well. Okay? So let's get this butter and put this butter, I'm putting the butter in my cast iron skillet. You see how it's still seasoned? I like a seasoned cast iron skillet. Yeah. That's a preference of mine. My mom, when I was coming up, my mom cooked with cast iron skillet. We knew that, I don't know if you guys ever did it, but my mom and my mother and my father were both good cooks, great cooks. And so my mom would cook, always bake her cornbread in the cast iron skillet so that it had a certain flavor to it. And sometimes we would have cornbread for breakfast. Yeah, sometimes we had it for breakfast. And I'm actually putting in, this is a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm actually putting in, and I put in 4 to equal the 2. And I'm putting this in the oven so that it can get ready. Okay. So now I have that. I've whisked this together real good so that you can tell that it is all mixed in well together. And then I add in my buttermilk. Y'all, buttermilk, you should always shake it up real good. And then I'll add in my buttermilk. I think I probably need about, you see that? See how it's got a little puddle? I'm gonna leave that puddle right there. I'm gonna show you guys what to do with that puddle. Put your egg right there in it. Some people, they do it any way you want to do it. However, you know, if you be like, that is not how I do my eggs and my cornbread, that is fine. That is fine. Do it the way you do it. Okay? You just need to get it in there. All right? You just need to make sure that you get it in there. So I got the eggs in 1 cup, and I take it and I whisk the egg right in the middle of the milk. You see that? Get it whisked in good, and then I add my last one. So that's 2 full cups of buttermilk. I usually end up just pouring the whole thing in there. So if you're ever making it with the recipe I just gave you, if you just use a 1 pint container of buttermilk, then you don't even have to measure. It'll be perfect. Okay? Just go on, pour that little last in there. Okay? And then I just whisk it together. You know, sometimes, you know, I'll put it in the in my KitchenAid or use a hand mix. Use the electric little mixer, and sometimes I just, for this, it's just cornbread. I can whisk it. It's good for you. Get you a little exercise in the mornings or whenever you're cooking. You get a good exercise, and I'm just making sure I get my sides. And mix it up. I want you guys to see the consistency. Can you see that? It almost look like cake. You see that? See if we can get you so you can see it without pouring it out. It doesn't take long to get it. Buttermilk does wonders for cornbread. And buttermilk, when you're making this, when you, let's say if you're making it just to serve it, and you add in a 1/4 cup of sugar, if you add in a 1/4 cup of sugar with this buttermilk, it takes it to a whole nother level, especially once you're putting that, once you're adding in, you got the butter. Remember, I put the butter in the cast iron skillet, and you have that buttermilk and sugar and butter mixed in there together with that corn flavor. It is amazing. It is amazing. So then you get all of that set up and ready to go. So once that is done, then all I have to do, oh, it's ready. Yay. Okay. Let's put this here. Can you guys see it? I think you can see it. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay. Let's get this out. Take the melted butter. And another thing, I put the oil in too, because the oil, see how the butter didn't burn? The oil stock kind of helps to deter the butter from burning. Then I pour my that teaspoon of teaspoon of oil that I would have added inside of the cornbread dressing, and I kind of whip that in a little bit. Yeah. And it still looks really, really good. This is a quick, when you think, a lot of people think I don't know how to make cornbread. Cornbread and biscuits are the 2 most easiest breads to make. You don't have to make doorstopper biscuits. I'm going to post a video on that as well. So now I'll pour in the cornbread mix. Yeah, I got little hands, and I really don't like to use plastic bowls when I'm baking and mixing up. So my little hands sometimes get mixed up a little bit, but we're gonna get all of this out of here, all of this goodness out of here and into the cast iron skillet. Yes, you see that? That's when you've been doing it a long time. And so I've been cooking. I started doing the smaller cooking, I think when I was like about, I was cutting up food and chopping and picking greens and stuff when I was about 5. So I guess I started cooking, because even in that, in the chopping up the greens and everything, yeah, it's just a simple rinse off because I don't like to put it in my dishwater, all those grains and all that stuff. Put this down the garbage disposal. Okay. It's a habit. Okay. Alrighty. So I got my cornbread in with the butter. I'm about to show you something. Whoop, 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 whoop. Voila. On the sides, I don't know if you guys can see it good. On the sides you have oil, and I just take my spoon and flip it over. There's a lot more on this side. And I rub it. You see that? Make that round circle around. And what that does is that put that oil on the top, and it gives you a nice, beautiful brown crust. And it's good. The more you have it nice and brown, the better the flavors are for your cornbread dressing. Okay. And now I'm about to put it in the oven. You guys can follow me to the oven. Let's see if we can see the oven. There's the oven. Whoa. Going to the oven. Cast iron skillet. Whoa. There you go. Cornbread is in the oven. So we've made the cornbread. And the next thing we want to do is make sure that we well, I can show you something else that I was doing while the cornbread. I got the gizzards cooking so that they'll be ready in a little while for the dirty rice. These are the preparations that I have to make. I'm about to make this. I have 1 cup of that melody mix, that vegetable mix that I told you guys about, with the onion, bell pepper, green onion, yellow or white onion, celery, bell pepper, yeah, and garlic. And so in here I have that. And then if you can see it, let me see if I can get you to see it. I have the shells from shrimp. Okay. And so I'm boiling these shrimp shells just to make my broth, seafood broth. And in here it has a 1 cup of chicken broth, 3 cups, I think of 3 cups of water, 2 cups of chicken broth, I'm sorry, and 3 cups of water, and some onions and bell pepper, celery, and garlic, the green and the white onion, and the shrimp shells. And now I've washed the shrimp shells too. Okay, so now I'm boiling it just to get my broth. And I always drop in when I'm making this, I always drop in a little where is it at? Oh, here it goes. I always drop in a few pieces of shrimp just to give it that extra broth flavor. Okay, and that is that for now, and I will be right back. I'll be right back. I'm excited. Guys, it is Thanksgiving morning. It's game time. I got the phone call. I have already cooked the dinners that I'm going to cook for my for the people that, for some reason, this pandemic caught a lot of people who were accustomed to going out to eat for Thanksgiving, or going to others' homes for Thanksgiving, and like, oh, I don't have to know how to cook. Now I'm gonna give you step by step so you can cook it yourself, okay? Because there are restaurants that are open, but there aren't many, and if you don't get in time, then you won't get in. So that's why I'm making sure. It's one of the ministries that God has placed in my hands, is to teach whomever desire to know how to cook, step by step, simple ways to get things done. And as we go on, I will continue to post. I am very new to YouTube. I started early on during the pandemic, and it was just ministry, sermons and words of encouragement. However, you guys need more. Yes, you need that. However, you need more than that. So I'm beginning to teach how to cook. Yesterday, I made the sweet potato pies and forgot to do the video because I'm new to this. However, I'm learning. Somebody says she's learning. And I am a pastor. I was probably born a pastor. Yeah. I am a pastor, so I do say things that doesn't make quite sense to those that are not accustomed to that. So I may ask you to repeat something that you'd be like, what in the world is this lady talking about? It's just who I am. So if you guys can just let me be me and I let you be you, and then we'll be all comfortable together. So if you stay joyful and you have peace in your corner of the world and I have peace in my corner of the world, then the whole world will have peace. So let's try that, okay? I love you guys. I'll see you in a little bit as soon as these other things get done so that we can move on to the next thing. Again, I'm new, so I probably need to learn how to do the prep stuff and then come back and show you guys. But I really want to show you step by step so you can see it. See you soon. This is Pastor Vivian signing out. Whatever you do, make sure that you give somebody in this world a smile today.